is raging in Iran.
We're praying for all the soldiers and troops.
That's great that you're praying, but
how about all the kids that died when the USA hit the towers?
It broke my heart. That is the
In what ways have you grown closer to Jesus?
I serve a righteous God. And that is why we say our prayers. And we are all his children. But when I say children, I mean like the holy, blessed Trinity, which is why I hold the Bible.
Congratulations! Sweet cream foam chai ice matcha. And Bella will have all organic pop cup.
organic.
Yes, everything organic.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free?
4, 3, 7. Oh, Hannah, you good? 4, 3, 2. Hold your chest lifted. We're gonna lift.
We have to protect all men in America, especially all white men in America. Those are the boys that we care about in this country. America is built on their backs. Yes, because they are the ones who mattered most.
All right, folks. So for you guys who may not know, that was the viral video done by Druski. He is a sketch comedian. Just came out, I believe, in the last day or so. And he basically said he was doing a comedy on how conservative women in America act, is what he said. All right. Now, as you all probably know by now, he was displaying or trying to display Erika Kirk. So we're going to get into it, folks. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you all as you watch this broadcast. It's time for Pop and Politics. I'm KJ. Let me introduce you to my co-host. Of course, we have Shelly E.
Hi, everybody.
And special guest co-host tonight is Crystal from the YouTube channel, Crystal Beyond Labels.
Hi, ladies. Hi, chat. Nice to see you all.
Excellent. We are happy to have you with us tonight, Crystal. Nicole is out tonight, folks, but she will be back on Monday. All right. So we got a lot to talk about tonight. Before we light this fire, do your part. Tap that thumbs up. Smash that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. We are live here on YouTube. If you're on the go, you can catch us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify under the name Pop and Politics. We love our chat, folks. This usually Friday nights is a really busy chat. So definitely share your thoughts on this parody. Do you think it went too far? Was it comedy or was it bullying? Let us know. All right. And we shout out every super chat. That's the best way to join the conversation. So drop your thoughts, show your love, and let the mainstream media know that we're here and we exist. All right. This is not just a podcast. This is a movement of God-fearing, truth-seeking, America-loving people that value freedom. Stand with us and subscribe so we can amplify this rallying call for freedom. All right, ladies, let's set it off. Let's get right into it. All right. So before we do before we give our reaction, there has been reactions all across the spectrum about this parody. Some people thought it was funny. Take a look here. This is clip 2.
Yes. Because they are the ones who mattered most.
Okay, that black guy like didn't say a single word, and so just takes away the entire scene. Just perfect faces that he's making behind him. This is how everybody's feeling. Everybody, for the first time, it's not left or right. It's like everyone's united in feeling this. It feels fake. It feels wrong. They are trying to use this idea of Christianity as a shield. And I was hinting on that again, removing Erika Kirk from the scenario. I was noticing all of these women that make videos. They're just catty. They're just influencers, but they try to find a Bible verse. It's like, I'm not actually catty. This is the Bible verse. Stop doing that. Just stop doing that.
All right. All right. So a lot to unpack here because there's a couple different points of that people are picking out of this. But I want to start off with you, Shelly, your reaction to the parody that Druski did.
My stomach hurts. That's what I thought. My stomach hurts because I was laughing. Okay. I thought it was just funny. That's it. No qualms about it. That's what I thought. And when I see it again, I will probably laugh again.
All right. All right. Crystal, what are your thoughts? Did you find it funny also?
I was actually absolutely disgusted. I was absolutely disgusted. Because they used Erika. If it was just anybody, I would have been okay with it. But specifically, they used Erika, and that really sickened me to my stomach.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'm sort of in the middle. Just looking at the parody, I mean, I didn't laugh like Candace Owens did, but I could see the humor about it. Okay. But I did think what you said, Crystal, I felt like, why use her? That's what I did feel like. Why pick on a widow who, I mean, when you think of not just a widow, but whose husband was assassinated in front of the world to see, you know, a young mother, a young man taken, and what we probably could talk this generation. I can't think of anything more horrible in this generation that I've seen in a long time. I just thought it was just poorly done. I do. And I'm one who, you know, I love comedy. I love to push the envelope. I'm a huge fan of people like Paul Mooney and all of, you know, the different comedians and things like that. But personally, I just thought this was in poor taste. Now, let's talk about Candace Owens' reaction, because this sort of part of the movement, I would say, or conservative movement, they are loving it. Oh, they are loving it. And as you heard her say, this is what everybody's thinking. What are your thoughts there, Shelly?
Well, I saw the Candace Owens clip a little bit, I guess, after it was done or whatever. And again, I thought as far as the skit, of course, it was funny. I also, I'm going to say I understood to a degree what Candace was saying. And let me tell you why. Some of y'all out here are going to be upset with me, but I'm for it. Okay, that's fine. I think I don't know if this is what she was saying, but to me, it seems that when, you know, conservatives by and large who are upset with Druski, you know, they're all in their tithers, clutching their pearls. Okay. But at the same time, they want to pretend like, you know, people are off topic or off, what do you call it? It can't be touched. I can't think of the word right now. When outside we have criticized, mocked, whatever other people, not someone whose spouse was assassinated. And yes, we all love Charlie, but are we now going to, you know, evangelize all on the social media? You can't do this. You can't say this. It's funny. It was just funny. I know including myself, I've gone to comedy shows. There are classic movies and still to this day from the 80s where people wore blackface or whiteface, whatever, that we still, conservatives, still watch and laugh at. Get your bunches out your butt. It was just funny. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that's up for debate. Maybe he should not have used Erika Kirk, but if it was anyone else that we didn't know or didn't like, we would still be laughing at it.
So let me ask you, Crystal, because just a couple of weeks ago, we had the big viral video when President Trump shared that jungle video of them portraying the Obamas as monkeys, but he also portrayed other leftists as different animals in the jungle. But the left made a huge deal out of it. Do you think this is in comparison to what we just saw Druski do?
The thing is, what Druski did, like I said, if it was anyone else, like if he did not use Erika, and because he tried to say, I think after the fact, he said this was just supposed to be conservative women, but he didn't just use conservative women. He specifically tailored himself to look like Erika Kirk and to, in a way, make fun of Christians. Let's just be real. He was making fun of Christians. And when he was holding the Bible and he's talking about prayer, and he was making fun of Christians, right? And I was like, you keep tap dancing around this situation. It was making it very uncomfortable. And then to see Candace, because I did see Candace, and I said, that to me was a very evil, sinister laugh. She was like, yep, I have more people on my side going after Erika. So I felt the attack of Erika. But what was so interesting to me was the same people who had them, as Shelly said, their panties in a bunch, the whole over the Obama and Michelle clip. Now they're sitting down there saying it's okay with what Druski did. So I even made I didn't share this with you. I made a response, and I said, listen, I don't want to hear y'all yelling about blackface, whiteface anymore, because in this instance, you see he's doing it in whiteface, but y'all get super sensitive when y'all see white people with blackface. You can't have it both ways. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So if you are okay with it, when Druski's doing it towards white people, then you better be okay with it when white people do it back to you, because the pendulum will just keep swinging both ways since we want to play like that. And I'm with you, because I grew up in the time of the Eddie Murphys and all of them. And listen, Raw and all those different types of comedies, they were making fun of everybody. We weren't sensitive like that. Definitely not sensitive people. But like I said, the thing that just sickened me was, because this was I'm going to give y'all an example. My sister gave this perfect one. If somebody did that to Nipsey Hussle, to Lauren London after Nipsey Hussle's life was taken, how would have everybody reacted? Everyone would have immediately ran to the protection of Lauren London. How could you do that? She just lost Nipsey Hussle. Why would you? So it's interesting that, like, it's target season on Erika.
It is.
But anybody else, we must protect them. When Kobe passed, everyone wanted to protect his wife in that instance. But they're not stopping to say this woman just lost her husband.
Imagine them doing that to Kobe Bryant's wife? Can you imagine? It would have been holy hell. Not one person would sit here and say, oh, that was funny. Let him do it. It's just funny. It's just comedy. I said the same thing. I brought up the example of Coretta Scott King, because we had people like Angela Stanton, who had her panties in a bunch for the last several months because of the criticisms of Martin Luther King and the legacy of Martin Luther King. And so she and I kind of went back and forth, and I said on her social media, I said, well, what if they had done this after the assassination of Martin Luther King, and somebody did a parody of Coretta Scott King in her hat? Because remember the iconic photo of her in her hat, in her dress with her kids. No, it's not funny. And then when you take it into context about what we have seen, the whole thing that Candace Owens has been doing, how she has been getting death threats. I mean, I cannot even imagine being this woman right now.
I can't either.
The way that she had to take all of this criticism for what? And let me just say this, and then I'll land the plane. All you guys out there who are mocking Erika Kirk, who are saying she had something to do with Charlie Kirk's assassination, y'all are stupid and idiots. Okay. How many of y'all, please, somebody who believes that Erika Kirk had something to do with it, where has Charlie Kirk's family come out and even gave any inkling that they were not behind Erika Kirk? Somebody in the chat let me know, because I haven't seen it. What I've seen is his mother and father stand side by side with Erika Kirk at events. Okay, they were at the event at the White House, the event at the what was it, the
memorial,
the memorial, and the what they did, the Trump did the I forget what you call it, but like the yearly review of the nation.
Mm-hmm.
They were there. They have been, no one in his family has come out and said, you know what? We are taking a second look at the appropriateness of his widow, or we are taking a second look at how she's handling the company. Zero. The only people that are pushing back and asking questions and making these accusations are people who were not family and who were not friends of Charlie Kirk. It's a grift. It's a grift, and y'all should be ashamed of yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, let's see what else. We have some super chatters here. Let's see what they say. We have MTX. Thank you for your $2 super chat. I'd be disgusted if he was my relative. Sickening. All right, thank you for your super chat, MT. MT again for your $2 super chat. Does Candace not realize she's hated on both sides? Okay, good point. I am Asher B. Thank you for your $5 super chat. Asher B says, I thought that Druski video was funny too, and he makes fun of just about everyone. Exactly. That wasn't the first time he was in whiteface, so it was not. He's stereotyped or caricatured other I guess types of people or whatever, if you will. Let's see who else. Cow Poke Rant. Okay. Thank you for your $2 super chat. Y'all know it was hilarious. Quit tap dancing. I'm not tap dancing. Thank you, MTX, again for your $2 super chat. If Barack died, would they make fun of Michelle?
No, they wouldn't.
People make fun of Michelle now. He don't have to be dead. So they do that now.
It's different. You heard what he said. If she died,
I heard that, but I'm saying they make fun of her now. So
yeah,
he doesn't have to be dead. MTX, thank you for your $2 super chat. He's mocking her because her husband died. I think I read that one. But thank you all. MTX $2 again. Yes, imagine bullying Vanessa. Wrong is wrong. Thank you again.
Absolutely.
MTX, thank you for that. Thank you all for your super chats. Please, everybody, make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe, and the notification bell. Go ahead and do it right now. Don't forget our merch. We have a link. Our producers put the link in the chat. You can do one-stop shopping at www.metroconservativemedia.com. We have our t-shirts there. Of course, we have the Unapologetic American. We have the Give Me My Money Back. We have several ones. We had that one there with Trump. What does it say? They're crazy. I can't see this. Whatever. Y'all crazy, or there's some crazies out there. Anyway, shop until your heart is content. Don't forget, go there and do it now. Thank you so much for all of your super chats and your supports, and keep them coming.
Absolutely. Wanted to ask one more question on this before we move on. So we saw in the Candace Owens clip, she talked about, because he made fun of Christians too. He made fun of the whole idea of conservative Christians. But Candace says, and she said this in the past, because I think she's trying to call out people like Allie B. Stuckey, and me too. I have a Christian conservative channel, KJ Christian Conservative. Crystal, you deal with a lot of biblical issues on your channel. Mm-hmm. So she's saying that people like us are, as she put it, putting Christianity in everything, and when we're trying to be snarky or nasty. What are your thoughts there, Crystal?
Well, let me just do a public announcement for everyone. Candace is not a Christian. Candace does not know Jesus. As much as she likes to yell Christ is King, she does not know who Jesus is. Hence why she sat for the Catholics and said Mary has been working on her and Mary has been coming to her. That should have been your key right there, amongst many other things. But the thing is, because she doesn't understand what it means to be a true kingdom Christian, everything that Christian conservatives do does not make sense to her. It makes zero sense. So take for instance, she looks at Allie Beth Stuckey, where she shows, because everything that we do, and that's what my channel is about too, everything we do should be from a biblical worldview. When you are a Christian, that is how you're supposed to look at everything, a biblical worldview, because we operate from a space of understanding that God is sovereign and he is our creator and he gave us a purpose. So we work according to what he has said in his word and live that life accordingly. We're supposed to be the light of the world, the salt of the earth. We're supposed to be making disciples of all nations, and we are supposed to be bringing glory and honor to him in everything that we do. So for her, it doesn't make sense. For a lot of them, when they saw Erika say, "I forgive you" at the memorial, they were like, "Oh, that's so fake." No, she's doing what God has called her to do. But as I've heard Allie Beth Stuckey say this, and I 100% agree. When you don't understand Christ, everything that we do is very foreign. It's a grift to you, but it's not a grift. We are doing what we're supposed to do, which is to honor God in everything that we say, everything that we do, and wherever we go.
All right. All right. Shelley, what are your thoughts on her take there as far as how Christian conservatives, and she's particularly talking about evangelicals, talk about these things in this space?
Okay, so look, I think I mentioned this a few minutes ago. I have come to the point where I see the social media, the evangelicals, Christian conservatives, on social media in particular, they kind of remind me of, or at least the medium reminds me of the era of the televangelist. During the 70s and 80s, you got the Tammy Faye Bakers, the Jimmy Swag, all the televangelists. And to me, that didn't endear me across the airwaves. I would rather go to church and meet people like Jesus did. Jesus didn't even preach from the temple. Okay. Jesus was the living embodiment of a pulpit, if you will. He went out to people one-on-one, have the medium, whatever. In that sense, I don't know if that's what Candace is talking about. Allie Beth, I love her. I don't know her. I think she's sweet, the content, everything. But I look at the medium. To me, the medium is, I don't know. That just reminds me of the televangelist, and coming across the medium for me, even in that era, I wasn't one that was endeared to that. So I'd rather go to church, meet people in the Bible study, one-on-one, like I always say, real life, real time, real people. Coming across the airwaves, in some aspect, it seems performative.
All right. Now, Crystal, just talking about what Shelley just said. Mm-hmm. So how then, if we don't come across, are we then supposed to only talk about to provide biblical insight on culture and things in the church? Or do you think we should go out and what's your reaction to what she just said?
I think what the problem today, the reason why we are where we are today is because everybody tried to put God in a box. That he should only be inside of the church and things. And again, Shelley, maybe that is where Shelley and others, that's where they receive it. But we see so many, when we look at the things that we're seeing in this world, the evil that's in this world, what happened was Christians decided they were going to stay inside in the confines of the church. And then Satan was like, well, the rest of this is my dominion. So that is why you're seeing the craziness that you're seeing everywhere, because Christians decided that they were going to lay low and just come out from among them and really stay away from them and not be in the community. But as Shelley pointed out, Jesus went out to the people. He went out to the sinners. He was out there. And so when you use the social media platform, when you're using the different ways that we're doing it, God has called us to take territory while we're here on this earth. We're supposed to take dominion. We are supposed to be going in, because wherever Christ isn't, his kingdom isn't set up, Satan is setting up his kingdom. And we have lost too many people and have allowed so much evil to run rampant because so many Christians decided they were just going to stay away from going out into the world. And that's what the Lord said. It said, he didn't say bring them into the church. He said, go out and make disciples of all nations. That means wherever it is, if that's online, if that's at your local grocery store, if that is at the homeless shelter down the street, wherever you are, use it to bring glory and honor to my name and make disciples of all nations. So if you're doing it with all, like the Holy Spirit leading you, genuine, that is what we're called to do. Now, I understand what Shelley's saying, because we have there are people I know in the past on thing like Rip Off. I nicknamed him Rip Off. I ain't gonna say his name. I'm just gonna nickname him Rip Off, who would be sitting down there and say, buy this holy water, 2-3 o'clock in the morning. You hear the TV in the background, get this holy water, you're gonna be saved, and so on and so forth. that there's going to be bad actors everywhere.
Right.
And there's going to be bad actors because Satan is still going to do what he has to do. He is trying to infiltrate the church, and he has done a good job. That's why I call them Marxist ministers, pulpit pimps, and ratchet radical reverends. We have a lot of those running around the place. Let's just be real. But at the end of the day, God has called people, true men and women of God. If you're online, if you're in person, go out and make disciples of all nations, not try and wait for them to come into the church.
Yeah. And I think you can do both. I think there's space for both areas, for both ways. And you, like you mentioned, we do have a lot of fake, phony people that are infiltrating many of these the medias here. So we pray for discernment. And you try to give the attention and to the ones that are doing right, and you leave the ones that are doing wrong. I think just in my experience from doing this with Christian Conservative, honestly, I've been blessed by that's firstly, just talking about this, I have been blessed by the community that I'm building with that channel. That's number one. Number two, I'm actually seeing people say they've come to the channel and they say they didn't know that we were there, and they're actually changing their lives. Some people think it's like a Bible study, and I love that too. But also, I found some people, they are convicted. So when you start talking about Christ and about biblical teaching, not just in the regular places where you think you're going to see it, when you start applying it to every area, because I never used to do that, honestly, I didn't do that before. But when you start applying it to every area of your life, some people are convicted by that, and they don't know how to react to it. So they may shun it. They may try to they may react like turn on you or push back at you, call you names, things like that, because the Holy Spirit is convicting them, and they just not ready to receive it.
And that's I believe
that's what I've seen too on my show. Yeah, that's what I've seen people do too.
I don't deny any of that. And again, I say for me, I'm not endeared to it over the airwaves. And to your point, Crystal, you mentioned about Christians or Christians staying away. I think you said staying away. For the most part, a lot of that didn't happen until the scamdemic. So that was, I think that was a pivotal time when Christians did say, whatever. And now we got the social media version of it, if you will. Fine. If it works for whomever. For me, I'm not drawn to that. I want to be with people in the presence, one-on-one, or however, whatever the group may be. I'm not endeared to that. I'm not saying stop it either. I would be the last person to say stop it or don't do it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I can see where some people, if you're talking about whatever Candace said, I don't even know what she said, but if you're using her as the as the exemplar all the time. I mean, enough of her, whatever. She's becoming a standard in and of herself to use as a backlash. I don't know. It's weird to me with that, but that's where I am.
I mean, people, and then you have contrarians. So you have people who, whatever they feel like is, people are gravitating to, they do the opposite. And so that's a whole nother thing. And I think with Candace Owens, she's building a viewership of people like that. She's got the contrarians, she's got the leftists, and then she's got the conspiracy theorists. Okay. And so, that's what it is.
I agree with that. I just want Shelly, that's what I'm saying with you, what you were saying. There's some people I definitely know they have to be in the building. And I have no qualms about it, but I also understand. I just told a story to somebody today when I went to lunch, lovely woman that I went to lunch with. And I told her, I said, I ended up doing this on live because one night a man came into my live. This was before what happened with Charlie Kirk happened. And this man was drunk and saying he wants to take his life. There's no one wants, no one loves him, no one cares. And I sat there and I started talking to him about God on my live with all the people in the room, talking to him about God. And he really was at the points of ending his, unsubscribing for life. That's the best way. That's how we use it now. Unsubscribing for life. And I sat there. I stayed up until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, talking to him, praying with him. The man is better now. The man is better. He accepted Christ. He's walking because he thought that God would never love him. God would never see him. So that's why I said people like what I do with Kate, what you guys do when we're out here talking online. It's not always for those who actually know God. There are people who are hurting, but they think God won't see them, won't hear them, won't receive them. And when you have people like us on here telling them that, yes, God does love you, number one. Number two, a biblical worldview, applying what we see in the Bible, not just to read it, but applying it to your life every single day and how to do it. And that's what I do when I do my lives. I'm telling them real world how to apply it. Then it makes sense. And it shifts the way people think. And the last thing I'll point out, which I love, is when we look at everything that is going on, I always say God is not in a box. He can be used in any and every single way. And so for some, it is online. There's so many people after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. I had atheists coming in my live asking me about a Bible. Where do I start? Because they said after what happened to Charlie Kirk, they woke up as an atheist. They went to bed praying. And the next day they were trying to find someone online because they were afraid to go into a church. They were afraid. They didn't know what to do. So to find people online that they could reach out to and just, excuse me, what Bible do I get? What is it? Because I see KJV. It doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, we'll try it. They appreciate that there are people online. So they don't, because they're afraid of going into churches, especially if they haven't been in church ever. They appreciate having that access. So that's what I'm saying. I agree with you, Shelly. Some people prefer it that way, but I think others are called for that reason.
Okay. All right. We got some super chats here, folks.
MTX again, thank you for your $5 super chat. Making fun is different than making fun because her husband was popped in the neck and she was thrust in the spotlight and isn't a perfect actress. All right, MTX, thank you. I did to break that down a little bit more. Thank you again for your $2 super chat. Candace said Mary brought her Mitch Snow. Hypocrite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Kung Fu CJ, thank you for your $2 super chat. He says, hello, ladies, and some emojis there. Hi, Kung Fu. MTX again, thank you for your $5 super chat. Candace invokes Christ when people critique her. She literally said we were going to hell for not believing what she was spewing. No more hypocrisy. Yep. All right. A righteous perspective. Hi, $20 super chat. 2 Timothy 2:2, and the things that you have heard from me among many witnesses, commit these to faithful men who will be able to teach others also.
Yes.
Amen.
All right, MTX is back again. Thank you for your $2. MTX says, and she said her show was God's platform. Hypocrite. All right, MTX, tell us how you really feel about Candace, MTX. Righteous perspective. Thank you for your $10. Grace and peace, ladies. Thank you, Wise. Thank you, Righteous perspective. Thank you so much. Brahaha, thank you for your $5 super chat. How does God see this? This woman is being dragged. What do you think this skit would add to it all? Candace just said it out loud. Believe her.
Yeah.
All right, a righteous perspective again. Thank you for your $5 super chat. The word is CEO Candace Owens has made upwards of $50 million since the death of Charlie Kirk. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Wow.
It's a great. I mean, this is. Oh, that's what I don't understand. This is the last thing I'll say. I don't understand how people are calling out Erika Kirk, and it's clear as day that these people, Candace Owens, the Hodge twins, these people are grifting. They are grifting. Oh my gosh. But
we have a couple more. Oh, sorry. JT Thompson, we have $2 here. JT says, evening, ladies. MTX, thank you again for your $2. He said, Candace is a leftist op. Why go after Nick?
Yeah, we talked about this too.
Mac Z Cole, thank you for your $2. It's good to see you. I see Crystal with you ladies. Thank you for that as well.
Yes,
Thank
indeed,
you.
folks. You can find Crystal on her YouTube channel, Crystal Beyond Labels. Crystal, please let the audience know when you go live.
I go live Mondays and Wednesdays at 8:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays with a righteous perspective at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Excellent. Excellent.
I want to address a comment. I was trying not to laugh loud, but I'm laughing loud. I think it was Delia. I'm saying she. I think it was a she. She said that I'm getting on her nerves because I sound like I'm on the left or something to that effect. Maybe the producers can put it up. Well, Delia, I want to say this. You might want to get a paper bag to barf in, because when you see that my thoughts are not necessarily in a box or ordained by only one side, you might be very sick.
Yeah. Folks, we on here. This is Poppin' Politics. We are on the right. Smart, edgy, conservative is our moniker. And we are on the right, but honestly, we're all a spectrum of the right. Me, Shelly, Nicole, we call ourselves on the right, but again, we do not always agree on the issues, on topics, and that's okay. That is perfectly okay. It is, people on the right, it's a spectrum. People, you have different ways you see things, view things. And so, and that's what makes it interesting. Honestly, that's what makes it interesting. So thank you guys so much, for tuning in. Please keep the super chats coming and help keep us online. And we don't have advertisers. We don't have commercials. And so your super chats really go a long way in helping us produce this content.
All right, Dawn. Thank you, Dawn, for your $5 super chat. Dawn says, "Hi, ladies. Just watch ARP from what's ARP? I'm not sure. From earlier.
Righteous Perspective.
Oh, Righteous Perspective. Okay, I'm sorry, Wise. Acronyms throw me off. Anyway, I just watched A Righteous Perspective from earlier and was excited Crystal would be with my other faves. Love you all. Thank you, Dawn. We love you back.
Thank you.
I think there was another one from Kung Fu CJ. I'm not sure, but Kung Fu CJ, $5. There's a website there. I have no idea, but it says she will be on with me. I have no idea what that website is.
He's talking about me because I'm supposed to be on. With Kung Fu CJ on next Friday.
Oh, nice. Cool. All right. Check her out on Kung Fu CJ's channel, folks. All right. So let's move on from this because we got a lot to cover. So breaking news out today, folks, on Ilhan Omar. All right. Take a look at this next clip of JD Vance talking with Benny, forget his last name. Johnson. Thank you. Benny Johnson about Ilhan Omar committing immigration fraud. He says she definitely committed immigration fraud. And they need to, they're trying to find a way to put the law on her. All right. Let's see here.
Talk about Ilhan Omar and Tim Walz. And obviously, Ilhan Omar, the president and the White House have been out saying that she married her brother, that there is immigration fraud going on here. These are deportable denaturalization offenses. Can you give us an update on that?
Yeah, so we actually think that Ilhan Omar definitely committed immigration fraud against the United States of America. And I talked to Stephen Miller about this actually recently. We're trying to look at what the remedies are. That's the thing that we're trying to figure out is what are the legal remedies now that we know that she's committed immigration fraud? How do you go after her? How do you investigate her? How do you actually do the thing? How do you build the case necessary to get some justice for the American people? There's a related issue, Benny, which is she has been at the center of a lot of the worst fraudsters in the Somalian community. So do I know that Ilhan Omar was aware that the Quality Leering Center was defrauding the American people? I'm not certain of it, but we at least need to investigate it, because if people can commit wrongdoing without even the fear that they're going to be found out, that's a fundamental problem. So I'm worried about the immigration fraud. I'm also worried about what did Ilhan Omar know about what was happening in the Somali community, and why was nobody looking into it until, frankly, Donald Trump came along.
Wow. All right, folks. That's breaking news. Shelly, what are your thoughts? Do you think they're going to actually maybe press charges?
I don't think they're going to do one damn thing. Excuse my French. I don't think they are. I mean, not that they shouldn't, not that they don't have cause to. If the paperwork trail is there, I honestly don't think. Maybe I'm cynical, but I haven't seen enough of, like we've talked about before, I haven't seen enough of legitimate people or people being legitimately prosecuted for that. I don't see that. I haven't seen it. So until I see it, I don't believe it.
All right. This is major, though. I mean, for the sitting vice president to make these accusations, these comments. Crystal, what are your thoughts of what may happen next?
Y'all, I have to say, and I agree with Shelley. I'm like, I need to see people in handcuffs. I've seen a lot of exposure. I've heard a lot of stuff going on, and I know we got to be patient. But my patience is kind of running thin. Like I'm like, listen, haul some people in, because they had no qualms about bringing President Trump into the courtroom all during 2021 through 2024. They had no problems hauling him in. Democrats had no issues with that. So I need to see our people just bringing people in, and not just bringing them in. If you have already seen that she's committed this type of fraud, then go ahead and denaturalize her, snatch her papers back, because that's the only way to remedy it. Because if you don't do anything other than that, then other people will come in and do the same thing, because they're like, listen, if she got away with it, I can get away with it too. Because you are not nipping the problem in the bud, and you need to.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about, so he's not just talking about the fraud. He's referring to the long-running allegation that Ilhan Omar married Ahmad Nu Said Elmi in 2009, and he was actually her brother. So, which, if true, would imply the marriage was based off of immigration fraud. So he's saying that the whole thing started in fraud, and she should not have gotten her immigration status for that. She committed fraud, and she should be put out. So, and that's what he's referring to. And then he goes on to talk about how he said that she actually knew about the fraud. She was part of it. Those are major claims for somebody who they can't do anything about it. I haven't heard anyone make those claims about her and before.
When this fraud case broke, I guess they mentioned that one of her companies or businesses were receiving checks or some kind of way they would. So that was out. But guess what? Ilhan Omar will continue to collect her almost $200,000 taxpayer paid salary every 2 weeks. She will continue to do it. I mean, again, I won't believe it until I hope I'm wrong. Prove me wrong. But until I see it, I don't believe it. So again, she's going to collect our money. And remember, you all, April 15th is about 3 weeks away. Okay. So she will still collect our money, probably get a raise in the next session. Okay. That's it. And we're going to still pay for it. That's how cynical I am now. Yes. Crystal, God bless you. You still got a little bit of patience. I might have a little bit less than you.
Yeah, well, I mean, folks, I definitely understand it. I really do. And one of the reasons why we're here, why we're not seeing a major eruption from the public, from voters about this, not just Ilhan Omar with the Somali scam, but just illegal immigration across the board, is because mainstream media isn't covering it. Take a look at this. This is clip 6.
This just in that horrible preventable death of Sheridan Gorman, 1 minute and 19 seconds for ABC, 2 minutes and 1 second for CBS, NBC, 23 seconds. Is that what her life is worth?
Her life is worth so much more than a grand total of 4 minutes. And we know that. And her parents know that. And everybody who matters to her knows that. And I also want to focus on the statements that J.B. Pritzker and Mayor Johnson released after this horrific event, because their statements also matter. Their city and state leadership, and they immediately pivoted by blaming Republicans and President Trump for her murder. And I find that shocking. No matter what side of the aisle you sit on, you know that's not true. And I cannot imagine the pain that these parents are going through. We look at her, we see her picture, and we see her as a young college student. Her parents, her mom and dad, in their mind's eye, they see a baby, they see a toddler who said the cutest things in the world, and they see a little girl, rather a young woman whose promises will never be realized now. And then to have city leadership and state leadership whose sole job is to keep their constituents safe, blame President Trump and Republicans for the presence of an illegal immigrant in this country when we all know that his sole focus is to get these people out, is absolutely insulting to the intelligence of these parents when they're mourning the death of their daughter. And I understand what they say when they say calling it a tragedy, what these leaders are doing, is not enough, because a tragedy by definition is an unforeseen event. This is absolutely predictable given these sanctuary policies that keep these people in this country.
Indeed.
Yeah, folks, the media, the mainstream media, are enemies of the state. We've said that multiple times on here. What are your thoughts on this, Shelly? No, barely any coverage, but we did get coverage of Savannah Guthrie. I mean, I'm sorry, I definitely am sorry that what happened to her mother, but my goodness, it was on every news station. We get hardly any information or news on these illegals committing crime.
Again, it's the what is mainstream media. It's an agenda. These young women, they can't be murdered, if you will, by an illegal, which could have been prevented, period. Their deaths could have been prevented, period, totally. It's not just that they were murdered by an illegal. No. It has to be related to Trump. Okay. And that's the minute or whatever 23 seconds that they get. They want to pump out this, again, Trump derangement syndrome, because they don't want to take responsibility and accountability for the policies that they have supported. I will say it again, my alliteration: progressive policies pulverize the people they purport to protect. When you pulverize something, you literally squash it, the life out of it. And unfortunately, we've had a number of young women in particular, but Americans in general, who have been pulverized by illegal aliens who should not have been here at all. Yes, 10 million plus came in the last 4 years. But again, I've said it before, I'm blaming everybody, Congress from way back, because all of these congressional bills and amnesty this and grandfather them this and all this, it puts Americans at risk, and we are suffering the consequences of it. I mean, I can't imagine being a parent of my child, your college age student, or even however old they are, going out, hanging out with girlfriends and coming back in a body bag. I mean, it's you can't imagine it. You cannot imagine it. I mean, but the fact that the media still makes everything about Trump, Trump derangement syndrome, they are awful. They are very low. They're just low people, a low group, if you will, a low mindset.
Yeah. What are your thoughts here, Crystal?
Again, my condolences goes out to their family, because that's just horrific. I'm 100% agreeing with Shelly in that, because as a mother, I can't even imagine sending my kids off. They're about to start life. They are excited and all of that. And your broken policies, your destructive policies cost my baby their life. That is horrible. But the worst part, and this is why we were talking about this earlier, and I said, yeah, we need to figure out how to fix this whole Smith-Mundt Act, and because this started under Obama and them repealing that, so they could push out propaganda, they could keep lying to the people. No one is holding these people feet to the fire. The reporters aren't doing their job, because when J.B. Pritzker fixed his mouth to gaslight America and tell America it is Trump's fault, because Trump and his mandate, he didn't meet his mandate of getting the worst of the worst out. And it's like, do you think that we don't remember that you said no ICE, you said no National Guard, you were suing the Trump administration because you did not want them in your state? If they would have come in and done their job, poor Sheridan might have still been here. So it is your fault. And then
to double down with Brandon Johnson pulling out a truck that says abolish ICE, and then to continue perpetuating the whole idea of we don't want ICE here, we don't need ICE here, after this young lady has lost their life, it is sickening. It is absolutely sickening. And I agree. I blame all of them because this is absolutely ridiculous. And to keep turning that whole orange man bad, y'all sound ridiculous. You sound truly like low information voters when you sit down here and you actually agree with the foolishness and not stand up and say, you know what? No, this is not Trump, because I've been hearing all of the time that he said to get the worst of the worst out. This is y'all fault, but y'all don't even want to do that. And that's sickening to me. It is. It is. They got blood on their hands.
Yes.
These people have blood on their hands. Charlie, I see we have some super chatters here.
We do. I'm just upset. Hi, Brahaha. Thank you for your $5 super chat. Matthew 27, Mark 15. Jesus was severely mocked, insulted, and abused. Some jokes are evil in nature.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that. Kimberly, thank you for your $10 super chat. Vance is swearing in a new AAG, Assistant Attorney General, next week to go after fraud. I'm ready for some arrest. Yes.
From your mouth to God's ears.
Right. Thank you. Hi, Josh. Thank you for joining tonight, Josh, with your $50 super chat. Ilhan needs to be removed from the country. Yes. I feel like Cash and Pam are the only cabinet members who have not put any wins on the board. And DNI delivered Comey, Brennan, and the plotters against President Trump on a silver platter, and nothing from DOJ.
100% agree there. 100%.
You said it. Yep. Josh, again, thank you for your $5. And he says, and good evening, KJ, Shelly, and Crystal. Good evening, Josh. We love you, Josh.
Yes. Thank you all so much, folks. This is the last Friday of March for us for Pop and Politics. And we want to go out with a bang. Your super chats go a long way in keeping us online. As you guys know, we don't have sponsors. We don't have commercials here. It's just you. And we thank you. This is why we do this, because we all, I can speak for me. I was a Democrat many, many years ago, and I was falling for the mainstream media lies. All right. And then I woke up to it. And then I said I wanted to do something about it. So we decided to start this channel. We wanted to get the information out to the people, and you all keep us online. This is why we turned off CNN and ABC and all these other things. And thank God there are more and more independent media is starting to sprout up. But it's the people that's keeping us going, you guys. So thank you all so much. All right. And speaking of the mainstream media and these horrific crimes by these illegals, take a look at this next clip. This is clip 5.
3-year-old Air Force veteran who was shoved onto the subway train tracks in New York City has died from his injuries. His killer? An illegal alien from Honduras who's already been deported 4 times. And I bet this is the first time you're hearing about it. Richard Williams died from his injuries on March 17th after he was pushed onto the tracks while waiting for a train at the Lexington Avenue 63rd station just before noon on March 8th. The man who shoved him was a 34-year-old illegal alien named Byron Hernandez, who was arrested 2 days later at a homeless shelter. He's been charged with second-degree murder and placed under an ICE detainer. And now an 83-year-old Air Force veteran who just 6 months ago had finally been declared cancer-free after a 5-year battle with prostate cancer is dead. This week, another illegal alien was arrested in Culpeper, Virginia, for offering money in exchange for sexually explicit pictures of little girls under the age of 10, while connecting with children through the popular online game Roblox. In Texas, Alberto Cabrera, a 27-year-old illegal alien from Colombia, was arrested for fatally slitting the throat of his 81-year-old common-law husband, Donald Wainant. And yes, I said what I said. In New York, a transgender illegal alien from Colombia wanted on robbery, prostitution, and weapons charges was sentenced to just 6 months in jail this week after he stalked a 14-year-old boy into the bathroom of a Manhattan bodega last year and molested him. He'll be set loose in April for time served. In Salt Lake City, an illegal alien named Ramirez Padilla was arrested this week for strangling a woman and slitting her throat while high on meth, then leaving her to die in an alleyway. She managed to crawl out from under the wheelbarrow he dumped her under and survived, but barely. And in Long Island, a 27-year-old Guatemalan man has been arrested by ICE this week after police say he sexually assaulted a 5-year-old girl who had been left in his care. The attack was so brutal she needed emergency surgery for her internal injuries. Guys, this is just the past 10 days, and it's not even all the stories. These are the things the media keep telling you don't. People the left aren't dangerous, but the facts are telling otherwise. We have eyes, we can see. And the bodies keep piling up. Children are being brutalized, and this country is starting to look more and more like the third world garbage dump that we're importing.
Wow. Shelly, did you know about all those illegals that committed crimes in the last 10 days? Did you know about that?
I knew about the 83-year-old vet, and I think one other one. But no, not all of those. Absolutely not, and certainly not in the last 10 days. I heard this journalist, and I think his name is something Ventura. I want to say Jorge Ventura. He's a journalist, credible journalist. He made a statement. I got to go back and look at my history to see what I was watching. But he made a statement because he's been investigating, or his topic has been on illegal immigration for a long time, particularly from South America. But he made a comment, and it just, I kind of like, what? How did he say that? Something to the effect of Haitian immigrants. They came in through California. Now I'm thinking, if you got, your geography, Haiti is over here. How the hell did they come up through California to cross the border illegally? Which means they had to either swim across the ocean to get to South America and then go up the West Coast, if you will, to get to California. And his whole point was basically this. We don't know as a country, we don't know the half of basically the hell and horror that has come across our borders in the last, let's say 4 to 7 years. We don't know the half of it. He was talking about sleeper cells as well, violent criminals. Yeah, the ones that we quote unquote catch, we know about, right? But we don't know the hell that we have allowed into our country and the crimes that have yet to be discovered.
Yeah. Crystal, what are your thoughts? Did you know about all of those crimes done by illegals just within the last 10 days?
I may have known maybe 3 or 4, and that's only because I spent a lot of time on X. Outside of that, I probably wouldn't have known about any of those things. And that is where the problem lies, because they do what they do to make sure that we don't know that. And then you have the senator from Connecticut, Chris Murphy, which we were talking about earlier, who says he let it be known, the Democratic senator, we only care, the people that we truly care about are the undocumented Americans, or AKA illegal immigrants. And so he said the quiet part out loud, the part that they don't want Americans to really hear. And this is why I said when people were upset, or they felt the type of way on the left, when President Trump said the government's first job at the State of the Union is to protect the citizens. That should have been something for everyone when the Democrats refused to stand up and cheer for that, because realistically, that is your job. But what the Democrats are showing everyone is no, they don't care about the American citizens. They care about the illegal immigrants. And I want people to understand that their care for the legal immigrants, you all are paying for it. We are all paying for it by the people, the children that are being lost, the women that are being lost, the children that are being brutalized. That man got through being a veteran, got through cancer, and lost his life just trying to catch a train. That's absolutely ridiculous. And we have to hold these people accountable. All of them, they need to be held accountable. And the last thing I'll say before I land my plane, this should make Americans mad.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you why. Did you hear how these people are going in and getting out in 6 months, going in and getting out in 2 months, and getting probation for some heinous crimes? If Americans do something, you are in jail. You forget just being in jail. You're under the jail. You were there for a good 20, 30, 40, 50 years. These people are just going in and coming right back out. That should take every American off, because they're showing you these people have special privileges. They can come here, commit the crimes, be abusive to the American people, take the lives of American people, and be able to walk out scot-free and enjoy their lives.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you both, folks. And what really, really ticks me off, but then it also, it's also a little scary. It's unnerving to me is how this is intentional. Okay. This is not a matter of the Democrats wanting to help illegals who are being persecuted in their countries or just letting a few in. Folks, under Joe Biden, under his presidency after Trump, he rolled back Trump era enforcement policies. He rolled them back when he first came in. If you recall, okay, they are intentionally. He intentionally opened the border. Okay, this was not just a little bit or by chance. He intentionally did this. The Democrats, this is their agenda, is to have open borders. All right. So this is why we had these historic surges. So if this is their intention, then we got to ask, well, why? Well, because they want to change the country. They want to cause chaos in the United States so that they can usher in a new nation order and, of course, a new world order. This is what they want to do. And I don't understand why every Republican in Congress is not running on this issue alone. This is the foundation of it all. We won't have a country if they're concerned. If they get their way, I should say. If they get their way, we will not have a country. And every patriot needs to be upset about this.
Right.
I watch I told you guys before, I've been watching Alone, this reality show where they drop these people in the middle of nowhere and they have to rough it out on their own. They have nothing and they're just dropped in the middle. Many of them are what you would call survivalists. And the one who won, the last one I watched, oh man, he just kept talking about how he was paying tribute to the pioneers and talking about how they had to work the land, hunt and do all kinds of things. And how he was in such, he was in such praise of them, such reverence. When you think about it, the people that founded this country, the people that founded, the land in here, what they had to overcome in order to create what we have today. And every time we let these illegals come in here and then give them social services, give them free food, let their kids go and get all this free education, free medical, we spit in the face of those pioneers who had to rough and tough it when this country was first created.
Absolutely. Well, again, this is why since last year I've been on. I cannot wait for this case to be debated, if you will, in the Supreme Court. That basically, what is an American? Who gets to claim American citizenship? Since it went up to the Supreme Court, and now it's going to be. I think the hearings they start in April sometime. But if our Supreme Court basically does not say that America, you're an American, number one, if you're born here, not just because you have a diplomat or a person that comes from over here overseas that happens to give birth. No. And your primary country is somewhere else. No. If we don't get the clarity on who is an American and what is an American, we lost our country. We lost our stake, if you will, to say that I am an American. This is what an American basically is. Come one, come all, everybody, lottie-dottie, everybody. You an American, hey, you just happen to get pushed out on our soil. You're an American no matter what. So,
yeah,
I agree.
Charlie, I know we have some super chatters here.
I'm unnerved tonight. Tony Modi, thank you for your $10 super chat. It's frustrating they pick on the vulnerable. I'd like to hear some stories when they fight back. Thank you, Tony. Kung Fu CJ, thank you for your $2 super chat. What in the Jeff Epstein is going on? Is it okay? Is it Epstein or Epstein? Somebody please tell me. I never know the difference between is it Epstein or Epstein. Not just Jeff. That's for anybody. Steen or Stein. How do you say it? Tony, again, thank you for your $10. Isn't something going on in Denmark with the PVV party? I don't know the whole story, but I think they are standing up. Okay.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you all so much. We appreciate you. Special shout out again to Righteous Perspective in the chat. A Righteous Perspective. He has a YouTube channel here, folks. Definitely, if you haven't done so already, check him out. Also, Tamara Neely. Tamara Neely is in the chat, folks.
Okay.
Definitely a friend of the show. Want to shout her out. Definitely check out the Tamara Neely show. She has a really good show there. Another Christian conservative. All right. So let's keep going. So we talked about, we're upset about this. We are upset about this unchecked illegal immigration. We are upset. You guys have vocalized, or at least written in the chat, you're upset. But would it upset you to the point to do this? All right. So check out this next clip, folks. This actually happened right here in Cambridge, Maryland. A viral clip of a woman who hired she hired a crew of construction people to do some work on her home. I guess they had illegals working for them, and she called ICE. This is clip 3. Take a look.
Nos cayó la pinche ley, valió madre. Nos rodearon.
Estoy en todo el derecho de grabar, no estoy haciendo nada malo también. O sea, yo estoy cooperando, puedo cooperar con usted, no hay problema.
¿Estás grabando en este momento?
Estoy grabando, sí.
Okay. Hice lo que pude por mí.
No, está bien. La verdad que yo estoy aquí, no estoy haciendo nada malo también. Triste lo que está pasando hoy aquí. Estamos empezando un trabajo y cayó migración. La verdad que perjudicando a la gente trabajadora, a la gente que hace bien al país. Qué hijo de puta decepción, la verdad. Triste lo que hacen, en vez de andar buscando a la gente criminal en las calles, a los drogaditos. Vienen a joder a la gente que trabaja. Es la misma mujer. Arreglándole la casa y todavía con el odio en el corazón.
Get out of here!
God bless America, bro! Bueno, los planes de Dios son estos, y qué puede hacer uno. Ya venir a arreglarle la casa a esta señora y que ella misma sea la que nos eche para atrás. Es triste, pero a la vez todo tiene su propósito.
All right. So just to give you guys some background, this woman, she hired this company. They were a roofing company. She knew they were illegals. I don't know if they did all of the job or most of the job, but they had started work, did a good portion of the work. And then I believe she still owed them money. And then she called ICE on the workers and they came in and picked them up. Shelly, what are your thoughts? Do you think this is too far, or it was in her right?
Look, I'm telling you, I think I laughed and I was a little like, that was wrong. That was wrong. Because number one, I mean, why didn't they lock her up? Because technically, if you knowingly hire illegals to do work that you know that they are illegals, you've committed a crime too, because you're paying them technically under the table. So that's a crime too. So why didn't they charge her? I mean, that was wrong. If she had just seen them, I don't know, at Home Depot or whatever, call ICE. But she hired them and then she owed them money. She only did it so that she wouldn't have to pay, but she should have been fined too.
Yeah, well, sometimes because sometimes it looks like the guy who was doing the clip may have been the foreman, or sometimes the foreman is legal and he has illegals working for him. I don't know, but Crystal, what are your thoughts?
I'm like Shelly. I laughed at first until I understood the story, and I was like, "Hold on." So wait, you owe these people money and you decided to try and get around that situation. You decide to call ICE. Ma'am, you should be hemmed up as well, because you knowingly did this. You knowingly did this. You hired them. You knew you didn't have the money, so you wanted them to do the work. And then when they want their money, then you're going to go ahead and say, I'm calling ICE. That's problematic to me. Now, I keep saying, because I saw the most beautiful story where this man did self-deport and he was able to come back literally 2 weeks later. Like, they were able to get his paperwork together. And that's why I keep telling people, it is better just to self-deport. Stop trying to stay here and work your way around the system, because I've always been a person, I don't want to have to be looking over my shoulder every 5 seconds. I don't want that stress on me. I don't want that stress for my children or my family. I don't want that stress. So it's better to self-deport and have a chance to come back versus being in a place where you get snatched up and now they're saying, no, you're not coming back. So I really wish people would self-deport, but I think what she did was, honestly, I think what she did was cruel, because ma'am, you knew what you were doing. You knew what you were doing, and you were in the wrong for what you were doing. Don't try to make this I'm a patriot, because that wasn't patriot behavior. That was you trying to be sneaky, and that is dirty.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, this is what we used to be about. I mean, right is right and wrong is wrong. You know, and this is what, I'm not talking about Republicans. I'm talking about conservatives. You know, this is what we used to be about. This is what kind of set us apart from the left. Okay. We looked at something. Yes, you know, we all are against illegal immigration, but this isn't the way to go about it. You're wrong for hiring these people. You knew they were illegal. Okay. And then you owe a bill that you're not going to pay. You're trying to run away from paying. All right. It's terrible. It is terrible. And it's not right. You know, as much as I want them gone, you got to go about it the right way. This is what conservatives used to do. You go about it the right way. Yeah. So yeah, I agree. I agree there. Definitely, folks, sound off in the chat and let us know what you think. You know, I think we have some differences there. Do we have some superstars, Shelly?
Oh, let's see. We have some differences. That's okay. Let's see what we got. Kimberly, $10. Thank you. She said, "What's an American? Oh, what's a woman? Why is common sense so controversial?" Yeah, talking about birthright citizenship, basically. Yes. Thank you, Kimberly. Anyone else? I thought we had another one there. Okay, I guess we don't. But everybody else, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Hit the notification bell, and don't forget your merchandise out there in chat land. Thank you so much for your support.
All right, folks. All right. And check out our other shows on the Metro Conservative Media platform. Tomorrow, you can see Just the Guys podcast. That's at Just the Guys podcast. They will be live at 6:30 p.m. Got an action-packed show for you. They provide you the conservative point of view from a male perspective. So you don't want to miss them. At Just the Guys podcast at 6:30 p.m. tomorrow. And then Sunday, I'm back at KJ Christian Conservative. Sunday at 9 p.m. You can check out me. Michelle was actually off. So, Crystal, I may ask if you were free for Sunday. So Michelle will not be here this Sunday, but we're definitely going to have a good show for you Sunday at 9 p.m. at KJ Christian Conservative. And then please, Crystal, once again, shout out your channel and where people can find you.
Everyone, you can find me at Crystal Beyond Labels. I am live Mondays and Wednesdays at 8:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with a Righteous Perspective. And KJ, I might be able to join you on Sunday. I should be back because I was sharing with KJ that I will be streaming the town hall for the Georgia governor and the lieutenant governor town hall here in Georgia. It's this Sunday, and we start around 4 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. So I should be able to be back home in time. If you want me to join your Christian Conservative, I should be back.
Yes, I want you to join me. Okay.
Yes, but definitely if you're in Georgia and you want to hear what the governors have to say, what the lieutenant governors have to say, I will be streaming live from my platform. So definitely come over so you can get to hear, because as I keep telling people, we have to ask real questions. These people are applying for a position to represent us, to govern us, and we have to treat it like that we're trying to hire them. So we need to know who they really are and ask them the real questions.
Absolutely. And thank you for streaming it on your platform. That's awesome.
We have some pushback, not so much pushback, but the S Files made a comment. She says if the roof was done, she would agree, but they had just started, so she didn't think it's a huge deal. S-Files, but apparently, according to the reports, they had done, I guess, the work or most of it, because she owed them $10,000. So they had done enough where she owed them. So that's what it is. Allie, thank you for being a member. She says they only removed the old shingles, so the job was not done, but still, it was done enough for her to owe them $10,000.
Right. And we had another one, I thought, from a member. Oh, Kimberly. She says, I just need y'all to post and read all my comments, super chat or not, LMAO. All right. All right, Kimberly, we see you. We see you. And thank you for being a Freedom Seeker member, folks. That's a great way to support the channel. Become a member, and you get, and we give definitely, it's a great way to support. So thank you all so much. All right, folks, that does it for us tonight. We will be back again, like I said, on Monday night at 9 p.m. Pop and Politics right here. Until next time, count your blessings and live a life of purpose. Good night.
Night.